Ladies and gentlemen, 2025 is here, and it's not just another year on the calendar. It's not a free pass, a trial version, or a rehearsal. This is your life. This is your moment. And if there's one truth that should ring louder than any doubt in your mind today, it is this: you owe it to you, not to your parents, not to your boss, not to the people who doubted you or the ones still watching to see if you'll fail. You owe it to you this year. We're not waiting for permission. We're not shrinking to fit into anyone's expectations. We are stepping boldly into who we were always meant to be. We do it because the reality is no one is coming to save you, and no one can live your dream for you. So the question is simple. Will you finally show up for yourself this year, or keep making excuses? Self-accountability is your superpower. It is the invisible force that separates those who only dream from those who actually do. In a world full of distractions, shifting blame, and waiting for external validation, the ability to hold yourself responsible is not just admirable, it's rare. And in 2025, rare is powerful. Because the truth is, no matter what your background is, no matter who raised you, what school you went to, or how much support you had or didn't have, your success still comes down to one person: you. When you embrace self-accountability, you stop outsourcing your life to other people. You stop blaming your parents for what they didn't teach you. You stop pointing fingers at society for the doors that weren't opened. Instead, you begin to look in the mirror and ask one hard but life-changing question: what can I do about this? That's where real transformation begins. Self-accountability isn't about being hard on yourself. It's about being honest. It's about saying, I'm not where I want to be right now, but I can get there. And it starts with what I do today. It's waking up every morning and making a promise to yourself that you will no longer betray your potential, that you will no longer talk about goals you're not willing to work for. It means accepting that if you want to level up this year, nobody is coming to make it happen for you. No one's handing you discipline. No one's dropping consistency on your doorstep. No one's going to text you every morning and say, hey, get up. It's time to chase your dream. That's on you, and that's why it's your superpower. You see, when you own your life, you realize that while you can't control everything that happens to you, you can control how you respond, how you show up, and how you push forward. That's what accountability does. It turns pain into fuel. It turns setbacks into strategy. It turns the ordinary into the unstoppable. Think of the most successful people you admire. Behind every achievement, there's a thread of consistent self-accountability. They didn't wait to be told what to do. They didn't wait to feel ready. They made decisions. They followed through, even on the days they didn't feel like it. That's what champions do. They don't always feel inspired, but they show up anyway. And that's the mindset you need to adopt in 2025 if you're serious about becoming the version of you that you keep seeing in your dreams. There's power in saying, I messed up and I'm going to fix it. There's courage in admitting I've been making excuses, and that ends today. And there's strength in choosing not to be a victim of your past, your environment, or your emotions, but instead becoming a leader of your own future. This year, if you want things to change, if you want to grow, elevate, and finally break through the limits you've placed on yourself, you have to stop running from responsibility. Stop hiding behind procrastination. Stop waiting for motivation to magically appear. Instead, start acting like someone who's deeply invested in their own life. You owe it to you to be real with yourself, to call yourself out when you're slacking, to push yourself when it gets uncomfortable, to show up every single day like the life you want. Depends on it because it does. That's what self-accountability is. It's not a punishment. It's power. And in 2025, if you truly want to win, it's the first tool you need to master. Discipline beats motivation every time. It's easy to feel inspired when you hear a powerful speech or watch a motivational video. You feel fired up, ready to take on the world. But here's the hard truth. Motivation fades. It comes and goes like the weather. You can't depend on it to build your future. If your success in 2025 is built only on moments when you feel like it, you're already setting yourself up to fail. What you need is discipline, the ability to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. Discipline is what gets you up at 5 a.m. when your bed feels warm and your body is tired. Discipline is what makes you say no to distractions, no to comfort, and yes to your goals. even when no one is watching. That's where real growth happens. In the quiet, uncomfortable spaces where no one is clapping for you and no one is checking in. Discipline turns your goals from vague wishes into concrete progress. Let's be real. Motivation is emotional. It's reactive. It relies on how you feel in a given moment. But feelings are unreliable. Discipline, on the other hand, is a decision. It's deliberate. It's a commitment to yourself that doesn't bend just because your emotions are telling you to take a break. Motivation might get you started, but only discipline will keep you going. Think about it. How many times have you said, "I just don't feel motivated," and use that as a reason to pause? How many dreams have been put on hold because you were waiting for the right mood, the right energy, the perfect inspiration? Meanwhile, someone else with less talent, fewer resources, and no motivation is outworking you simply because they've trained themselves to stay disciplined. Discipline isn't glamorous. It's not exciting. It's showing up and putting in the work again and again, regardless of your mood. It's the athlete who trains when they're sore. It's the student who studies even when they're mentally drained. It's the entrepreneur who builds when no one believes in them. These people understand that feelings are temporary, but results are lasting. In 2025, if you want to separate yourself from the crowd, don't chase motivation. Build habits. Build systems. Create routines that serve your vision. And when it gets hard, when it gets boring, when you'd rather quit, that's when you lean harder into discipline. Because that's the moment that builds character. That's the moment that sharpens your edge. That's the moment that makes the difference between potential and progress. You won't always feel like doing what needs to be done. And that's okay. The win doesn't come from feeling like it. It comes from doing it anyway. Discipline is choosing purpose over pleasure, legacy over laziness, and growth over excuses. It's knowing that what you do today echoes into the life you'll live tomorrow. Every time you practice discipline, you're telling your future self, "I've got you." Every early morning, every hard decision, every uncomfortable choice becomes a deposit in the life you're building. And trust me, those deposits compound. They grow. They build momentum. And eventually, the life you once dreamed about becomes the life you wake up to every day, not because you waited for motivation, but because you mastered the art of showing up regardless. So in 2025, make a choice. Don't wait to feel ready. Don't wait to feel inspired. Choose discipline. Choose consistency. Because discipline doesn't care about your feelings. It only cares about your future. And your future is worth fighting for. Comfort zones are silent killers of potential. They feel safe, familiar, and easy. But behind that ease is a dangerous truth. Nothing extraordinary grows there. Your dreams, your goals, the life you truly want, they all live outside of your comfort zone. And in 2025, if you want to evolve, if you want to stop repeating the same cycle year after year, you have to break free from what feels safe and step into the unknown. Comfort zones are built around habits and patterns you've repeated over time. They're the people you always talk to, the routines you never question, and the excuses you've made so often that they've become your reality. But here's what they're not. They're not growth. They're not challenge. They're not transformation. They're traps that keep you where you've always been while convincing you that this is all you're capable of. Every time you choose comfort over challenge, you shrink a little, you settle. You silence the voice inside you that says there's more for you. And eventually that voice becomes harder to hear. You start believing that maybe your dreams are too far out of reach, that maybe a good enough is all you'll ever have. But deep down, you know the truth. You were never meant to just survive. You were meant to thrive. Growth is uncomfortable. That's why so many people avoid it. It demands that you let go of what's familiar. It requires you to face fear, uncertainty, and failure. But on the other side of that discomfort is where everything changes. It's where confidence is built. It's where strength is forged. It's where purpose is found. The people who make it, the ones who break through, level up, and live fully, are not the ones who never feel fear. They're the ones who feel it and move anyway. Stepping out of your comfort zone doesn't always mean making huge changes over. It's in the small daily decisions to do something different. To speak up when you'd normally stay quiet. To take the opportunity even if you don't feel 100% ready. To say yes to growth and no to staying the same. That's how you stretch yourself. That's how you grow. Every new level of your life will demand a new version of you. That version won't come from staying in your routine, playing it safe, or doing what you've always done. It will come from pushing yourself beyond what feels manageable and discovering that you're capable of more than you ever imagined. See, because the truth is, nothing changes until you change, and nothing grows until it's challenged. Comfort zones also disguise themselves as logic. You tell yourself, now's not the right time, or what if I fail? But those aren't facts. They're fears dressed up as wisdom. The truth is, there will never be a perfect time. There will always be reasons to stay where you are. But if you keep waiting for conditions to be ideal, you'll look up in another year and realize nothing's changed because you haven't changed. In 2025, make discomfort your ally. Let it be the sign that you're on the right path. Because if you're too comfortable, you're probably not growing. If your dreams don't scare you, they're too small. And if your routine doesn't challenge you, it's time to shake it up. The magic you're looking for isn't hiding in your comfort zone. It's waiting for you to be bold enough to leave it. You owe it to yourself to stretch, to evolve, to step into the unfamiliar, and find out what's possible. Don't let your comfort zone become your cage. Choose growth. Choose courage. Choose to be uncomfortable. Because that's where greatness lives. You are the CEO of your own life. That means every decision you make, every action you take, or don't take, is shaping the direction of your future. Too often, people walk through life like employees of their circumstances, waiting to be told what to do, blaming others for where they are, and hoping someone else will come and fix things. But in 2025, that mindset has to die. You are not a passenger. You are in charge. Your life is your business, and it's time to run it like a boss. A CEO doesn't make excuses. A CEO doesn't wait around for someone else to approve the vision. A CEO leads with clarity, strategy, and responsibility. And if your life feels like it's going in circles, it's probably because you haven't stepped into that leadership role fully. You've been operating from a place of reaction instead of intention. But that stops now. This year, it's time to take control. Running your life like a CEO means knowing your vision and being willing to protect it at all costs. It means setting goals, not just for the sake of saying you have goals, but creating real action plans to reach them. It means understanding your value, your time, your energy, your focus, and managing them like the limited, powerful resources they are. Too many people waste their days, their months, even their years saying yes to everything, giving their time to everyone, and losing sight of what really matters to them. But a CEO knows how to say no. A CEO prioritizes. A CEO doesn't get caught up in distractions or opinions. They stay locked in on the mission. So ask yourself, are you spending your time like someone who's in charge of $1 million company or like someone who's just trying to get by? Being the CEO of your life also means taking full ownership of your results. If things aren't going well, look inward, not outward. It's not about blaming the economy, your family, your job, or your past. A true leader accepts responsibility, learns from setbacks, and adjusts the plan. There's no room for victimhood in leadership. If something is broken, fix it. If something's missing, find it. If something isn't working, change it. You have that power. You always have. Let's be clear. Leading your life isn't about being perfect. It's about being present. It's about showing up every day with purpose and refusing to operate on autopilot. It's about waking up and asking, what do I want this life to look like? And what am I doing today to move closer to it? That level of self-leadership will change everything. It will affect how you work, how you love, how you handle challenges, and how you show up in every room you walk into. And here's the truth. No one is coming to give you permission to take your life seriously. No one is going to come along and say, hey, now's the time to be who you really want to be. That decision is yours. That responsibility is yours. And once you accept it, you stop waiting for things to happen. You start making them happen. 2025 is not the year to let life manage you. It's the year you become the CEO of your choices, your habits, your relationships, your time, your energy, and your future. It's the year you stop asking for direction and start giving it. It's the year you stop playing small and start leading big. Because when you lead your life with purpose, discipline, and strategy, everything begins to shift. You owe it to yourself to take that role seriously. Not next year, not when it's convenient. Now, success doesn't respond to excuses. It only speaks the language of action. Excuses may sound reasonable in the moment. After all, they offer comfort, justification, and an easy way out when pressure mounts. But every time you reach for an excuse, you trade a slice of your potential for a fleeting sense of relief. The project that could have advanced your career gets postponed because you're too busy. The workout that would strengthen your body is skipped because it's raining. The skill that could open doors remains undeveloped. Excused by them, just not naturally good at it. And while you're busy rationalizing, someone else is using that same moment to move forward, to outlearn, outpractice, and outperform you. Success takes note of who shows up, not who explains why they didn't. Excuses grow from two roots, fear and comfort. Fear whispers that if you try, you might fail, and comfort likes things exactly as they are. Together, they form a persuasive duo, telling you there's always tomorrow, that circumstances need to be perfect, that other people have it easy. But success is deaf to all of that. It isn't swayed by the economy, your upbringing, or any narrative you construct to delay the work. It measures only effort, resilience, and results. In 2025, if you want the life you envision, you must divorce excuses and marry accountability. Because the universe doesn't bend for stories, it bends for persistence. Every excuse is a brick in a wall between you and your goals. One brick might not seem like much, but brick after brick, day after day, you build a barrier so tall it blocks your own view of what's possible. Then you begin to believe your excuses are truths. Our truths, I don't have time becomes I'll never have time. I don't have the resources becomes I can't succeed without them. Before long, the wall feels permanent. Yet the same hands that built it can tear it down, brick by stubborn brick, by replacing every excuse with a new commitment. I'll find 20 minutes. I'll learn with what I have. I'll make opportunities instead of waiting for them. Understand this. Success rewards ownership. When you refuse to hide behind circumstances, you gain control. You discover creative solutions. You develop grit. It's not that successful people have fewer challenges. They simply refuse to let challenges become reasons to quit. They reframe setbacks as data, not destiny. When plans collapse, they iterate. When resources are scarce, they innovate. They don't ask whether conditions are perfect. They ask, what can I do right now with what's in my hand? That relentless bias toward action compels success to pay attention. Excuses also erode credibility. Not just with others, but with yourself. Each time you break a promise to your own aspiration, you teach your subconscious that your words carry little weight. Confidence withers. Momentum stalls. But when you keep commitments, even small ones, you build self-trust. That inner trust becomes rocket fuel. Suddenly, turning down comfort foods to honor your fitness plan isn't torture. It's proof you mean business. Waking up early to work on your side project isn't a sacrifice. It's evidence that your dreams have authority over your excuses. In 2025, make a pact. Every time an excuse surfaces, translate it into action. I'm tired becomes I'll do 10 focused minutes. I don't know how becomes I'll learn the first step today. These simple translations turn dead ends into open roads. And remember, nobody successful will applaud your excuses, but everyone successful will recognize your discipline. When you adopt a no excuses mindset, you align yourself with the frequency on which success operates. Doors begin to open, not because luck suddenly favors you, but because you've positioned yourself where opportunity can see you working. So the next time you feel an excuse forming on your tongue, pause. Ask yourself whether that story brings you closer to or further from the future you owe yourself. Then decide, because success is waiting, but it won't wait forever. And it definitely won't take excuses as RSVP. Invest in habits, not just hopes. Everyone has dreams. Everyone wants to be successful, to be healthy, wealthy, fulfilled, or respected. Hope is not the problem. Discipline is. Hope without action is like planting a seed, but never watering it. It might look like something is happening because the desire is there, but nothing will grow. If you want 2025 to be the year where things truly shift for you, then you need to stop relying on motivation and start building habits that work even when your motivation is gone. Habits are the architecture of your daily life. They are the invisible routines that shape your outcomes, whether you realize it or not. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. That's why two people can have the same dream, but only one sees results. It's not about wanting more. It's about doing more consistent. The people who win, who grow, who break generational cycles are not necessarily more talented or lucky. They've simply learned how to align their habits with their vision. When you invest in habits, you build momentum. And momentum is powerful. It turns effort into ease over time. Waking up early might be hard at first, but after doing it long enough, it becomes automatic. Eating clean, saving money, practicing your craft. It's all hard in the beginning, but when you commit, it becomes part of who you are. And that's the difference. Hoping for a better life keeps it in the future. Building habits brings it into the present. Your habits are either moving you closer to the life you want or dragging you further away from it. There's no neutral ground. Every repeated action is a vote for the person you are becoming. So if you keep hitting snooze, procrastinating, avoiding responsibility, spending recklessly, or neglecting your health, understand that those small choices are writing your story, one page at a time. The good news, you can rewrite that story by making new decisions daily. And you don't need to overhaul your entire life in one day. Start small, stay consistent, and stack your wins. One of the biggest mistakes people make is thinking they need to feel ready to start. But habit doesn't need permission. It just needs repetition. You don't need to run 5 miles on day one. Start by walking for 10 minutes. You don't need to write a book this month. Start with a paragraph a day. What matters is that you're showing up. Habits don't require huge effort all the time. They require small effort all the time. You also have to be honest with yourself. What are your current habits saying about your priorities? If your daily routine doesn't reflect your dreams, then your future won't either. You can't say you want success, but live like someone who avoids discipline. You can't say you want peace, but maintain habits that invite chaos. Alignment is key. The version of you who has what you want doesn't just hope for it. They behave like it's already theirs. So act accordingly. Habits create identity. Every time you do the work, whether it's reading, learning, training, or executing, you reinforce the belief that you are someone who gets things done. That internal shift is more powerful than any external motivation. You don't just become successful by accident, you become it by habit. And habits don't lie. They tell the truth about what you're committed to. So instead of hoping your life will get better this year, build the habits that guarantee it. 2025 isn't asking you to be perfect. It's asking you to be consistent, to do the small things with big purpose, to stop fantasizing and start systemizing. Because the difference between the person who dreams and the person who delivers is simple. One relies on hope, the other invests in habit. Make the choice today, not for hype, not for applause, but because you owe it to you.